Time is ticking. It's your move. Welcome to Cheslop Trades. Hello and welcome. It's me again. So, if you haven't seen my last video, I will go back and try and watch that. And that way, you will really understand what I'm about to talk about on this topic of hardware wallets. So, after my last video, I've been thinking about what to do really, because I'm not here trying to claim to be a tech guy or to know it all. I just like digging information and trying to sorry about that, make the best out of the information I find out. So, just in summary, there has been a bit of controversy around the use of ledger wallets and the services they provide. Now, there could be a risk of exposing the client to unnecessary risk, in my opinion. So since then, I've been thinking about what to do next, because I was a fan of Ledger. So I have Ledger Code wallet myself, and that's what I really use. So I'm trying to make decisions from there, and I've been scalping the internet and trying to make up my mind on where to go next, because if you understand really about cold storage, you can see, you will understand why I think this video is really important for you to understand, because this is really what self-custody means, and you are able to safeguard those seed phrases, even though the way it's being safeguarded at this moment is sort of a bit still difficult, even for us that has been doing this for a while. I think I've been in crypto for 2 years now. So as part of my digging around, I found a tweet from Charles Hoskinson, the founder of ADA, Cardano. I don't know if you know about that cryptocurrency. And full disclosure, I have a bag of ADA as well. I love ADA. So I might be biased anyway. So, but yeah. So during one of the tweets about this ledger controversy, he said the following: always choose open source software whenever possible that has been audited by numerous sources on a regular basis. So open source software is one thing that he said. Then he also said in the third point, non-updatable firmware is important when a company makes a specific promises about their security model. Because obviously, if you make a promise about a security model and you update the firmware, so how do we verify that, especially if you're not open source? So I had a look at Ledger. Ledger, however, isn't open source, to my surprise, because this is, to be honest, I didn't really think about it that much when I bought Ledger. I just found out it was really the most popular, so I went for that one. So it's not open source, so nobody can really verify the codes to see if there are backdoors, like into the codes there. So while I started looking into to find out if there are other wallets out there that are open source, and that led me to these wallets that I'll be discussing here today. So one of them will be Trezor. So Trezor wallet seems to be have a similar popularity to Ledger. And the first thing I realized was that it is open source. So if you looked at the Ledger website, so you can see that they have a Model T and a Model 1. So Model T obviously more expensive than the Model 1. So I'm just guessing the Model T will have basically a wider screen. And okay, let's have a look to see what differences they have on here. So you probably have more coin, probably more support for some coins on the bigger one in comparison to the other one. But again, the first thing I'm thinking about how bulky this device might be. And again, it's quite, I think it will work quite similar to the Ledger device as well. Even though if you go back to the homepage here, you will see that one of the things they talked about is them being uh, fully open source and fully verifiable. Why is this important? We can have people like Charles Hoskinson looking into that code and seeing if there is a backdoor to it. Not just Charles Hoskinson, because what I realize is in this cryptocurrency environment, we have a lot of very smart people in the community and who will take it as their job to find out if you are what you really are. Then again, that fully makes sense in a way that it should be open source, because if you think about it, if you know a thing or two about BTC, the Bitcoin itself, why it was created the way it was created is to be fully open source and transparent and trustless. So I don't have to trust you. I can always verify what you say. So I don't really want to trust my hardware wallet company. I want to be able to verify what they say. So this is why this is important, is fully open source. And again, I think the importance of open source as well. There is an example of a wallet as well that talked about the possibility of, even if, since their software they are using is open source, even if the company goes down, somebody can rewrite or use the codes and potentially bring back the software, and you can still have access to what you have before, because obviously you have access to the code around the software itself. So that for me makes a lot of sense. So when I saw that Trezor was open source, I was like, okay, maybe I should buy Trezor then. So I started looking down more to understand really what, is it just the fact that it's open source? Is that really enough? But I think a company that makes something open source, they're not saying trust me, they're saying have a look yourself. So that makes a lot of sense to me. So that gave me a bit of a trust, and I felt a bit, stupid in a way for buying my ledger in the first place. So let's have a look, see other features of this Trezor. So you have an easy wallet recovery. So if you've used any wallet before, you have to write down your seed phrase. So your seed phrase, no matter what happens to this device itself, you can always use this seed phrase to um, get access to your coins, to your assets, basically. So normally, where the problem is if you lose this seed phrase, you've lost it. It's gone forever. So the usual practice for most people will be to back this up and give it to their loved ones or whoever you trust. Some people can split it into 3 or 4 and give it out to different people that you trust. In that way, no individual person can have access to that. You all have to come together to be able to access that cryptocurrency. So that's one major, very important thing about blockchain technology and cryptocurrency. And to be honest, uh, one of its major drawbacks as well, because who wants that responsibility? Because I think we are all used to, if you forget something, you reset the password and you get access back. If you forget your bank code, you call the bank and they reset it and you get access back. Then all of a sudden you have a system that controls your funds, but if you lose it, you've lost it forever. So that scares a lot of people off. And I think that was what Ledger was trying to solve when they created that recovery program. Again, you can watch my last video about the Ledger recovery, and I will probably try to put it around somewhere here for you to have a listen to. So again, you have a pin and passphrase, so you probably have to create a pin for yourself. So even if somebody has access to this wallet, they will need a pin to get access to your crypto. But again, the important thing here is to understand that the seed phrase is stored in this device. So this Trezor device will store the seed phrase for you in this case. And this is just like a backup for that phrase, right? So let's have a look again, see other things we can find out about Trezor. It looks all right. It looks a bit small. I can't really estimate the price based on what it is. And on the price range, it doesn't, it seems to be, you have 58 and 186. And one other thing that I've noticed is a lot of these ones are quite cheaper now. You can see a price cut. I think it might be due to the fact that the big man, which is Ledger, is having a lot of problems. So all these other people are trying to eat up some market share. I might be wrong, but I realized a lot of them are offering a lot of discounts. So if you see here, you see get 15% off. So it might be a coincidence, but it might be a good market strategy as well. Okay, enough about Trezor. So the next one I wanted to look at was the Keystone hardware. So I noticed this one was open source as well, so no need mumbling and talking about open source again. Um, Keystone Wallet is open source. Has some security features as well. Self destructs. I think Trezor self destructs as well. So if there is any tampering on the device, they self destruct. And if you look here again, you see a massive discount being offered on this product as well. So they also said here, funny enough, news Ledger users can enjoy up to 30% discount. So this seems like a shade to me. So if you're a Ledger user, you can come to us now and get a 30% discount. Stuff like that. So you can see, I think everybody's trying to eat up that market share. So moving down, this one has a large touch screen. The first thing I'm thinking about is I don't want a second phone, because for me this looks like a phone. It has a camera, and apparently you can use a fingerprint authenticator as well. So maybe again your seed phrase will be stored in the device. Then you will have to probably put your fingerprint in there and potentially use it to do transactions. I don't know. I want my hardware wallet to be dumb, if that makes sense. I don't want it really smart like that. I don't know if fingerprint authentication is something I would really want, just because of how I use my hardware wallet. I don't use it for everyday life. I have my hot wallet on my phone that does similar stuffs like that. So I can use my fingerprint on that for very quick movements and payments. But for my hardware wallet, I use it for my long-term bags. So I don't really want a lot of fiddly on it. I don't know about the fingerprints, but comment put your comments down and let me know what you think about that. So one thing I noticed as well is this EAL 5 plus. So I was looking around to understand what that really means. It says it's evaluation assurance level. So I think this is the level given to products based on how hard it is to penetrate the device. So this one is EAL, that's evaluation assurance level of 5 plus for the chip. So from my little reading, it says it's probably very top notch security, if that makes sense for this product, for it to have that 5 plus. So going down, you can see it has a camera on it. So first of all, I was thinking about what should I be needing a camera for. So that was when I realized they talked about this air gapping. So the air gapping, from what I understand from my little research, was that they minimize the connectivity you have on the device. So you have as very low connectivity to the device. So no cables, no Bluetooth, no none of that. And most of your transactions you will do using a QR code. So they said it's fully air gapped. So reducing access to internet, I guess. So again, the idea of a cold storage there, meaning, but again, I'm thinking, if that's the case, okay, cool, makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. But one other thing that I was worried about is when I looked at I started digging into the product as well. I realized you can still update the device, so the device needs updating. But the part of the air gapping they've done, you need a separate USB, not memory stick, that you have to buy, download the firmware on the memory stick, then slot it on the device to upgrade the firmware. So again, that put me off a bit, because again, I can still update the firmware, which means I can have a similar issue with the similar to the Ledger one. But the only advantage here is that it's open source. So if they've done something to the firmware, somebody can always confirm to see if they've done something that could, you know, potentially affect us, the users. So again, probably not something to worry about in this case, since it's open source. So being open source, for me, makes a lot of sense in this situation, because you can update your firmware, then we don't have to trust you. We can verify your software. I'm saying we can. Trust me, I know nothing about this tech stuff. I just like studying about blockchain technology. This is not my everyday life, but I find it really fun. So I started digging into the evaluation assurance level, and I found this write up from this gentleman. I don't really know about him, but this says updated January 18, 2023, Frank Cover. So they were trying to compare Trezor and Ledger, and they talked about security certifications on there. So for the Trezor, they talked about the CE and ROHS certified. I don't know what that means. I didn't look into it at all. Obviously, Ledger had the 5 plus, which is the same that the Keystone wallet had. Okay, so but what I can find out is the 5 plus, it means a very good rating. So I'm guessing the ROHS certified must be a very good, a high security for them to be using it on the device as well. So the other wallet that I wanted to discuss here will be this Tangem wallet. So I saw this Tangem wallet during my diggings, and I think I like this one. Quite frankly, I think immediately I saw it and I saw how it works. I think I might go for this one. I'm not really sure yet. I'll probably dig around a bit more to understand it more, but this is just like your regular cards that has a chip. So it looks like a back card with a chip, and that has an NFC, and that's it. Really, that's all you need to have, and every other thing will happen in the app itself. All the updates and all those stuff will happen in the app. And whenever you need to confirm a transaction, that's the only time you bring in the card. So for me, this is quite nice, quite flat, quite flexible, and again, digging around, water resistant, resistant to heat, like they said here, up to 50 degrees and down to minus 25. No point of vulnerability or failure. So you don't need your batteries, you don't need your cables, and most importantly, I don't have another device. That's what I liked here, because for the Keystone wallet, I feel like I'm having a new phone. That means if I need to carry it around, I'm carrying around two phones. That's how I see it. So why do I need a second phone if I already have a phone? So I'll only need something else. And I think Tangem Wallet looks like it to me. So you can buy these in three. And one thing that I noticed as well is if you go down to the security, it says it has the EAL of 6 plus. So I'm assuming this is a higher security compared to the 5 plus, from what I understand. So the chip itself has even better security to the Keystone wallet and to the ledger that I was using, and I think potentially to the Trezor. I don't know. And again, this is open source as well. So everything that I've discussed today is open source. So the code can be verified. We don't have to trust Tangem. Again, they said open source application, so you can have a look yourself if you're smart enough. Not people like me though. So if you looked at some of the FAQs they have on there, you will see, will the card work if Tangem as a company ceases to exist? And they said here, Tangem Wallet works on their own. They do not need the company's services. Your assets are stored on the blockchain and the cards contain the keys to them. You see, that's the word I'm looking for. So it's open source. Even if the phone is broken, you can get access to your, since you have that wallet, you can always have access to your crypto. And I think the unique thing here as well is that you don't have access to the seed phrase, so you don't see the seed phrase. So for the other ones, you have to write down the seed phrase and store it somewhere. So probably your cousin can take a picture of the seed phrase and use it to extract your money. But for this one, you have just cards. You don't even know the seed phrase. So the seed phrase stays in this card and is only used to confirm transactions. So you download the app on your wallet, on your phone, and use it like your regular phone, which is your phone. So you just have one phone, one device, and an extra card to confirm transaction. I think this makes a lot of sense. Plus, you can now buy the three. You can give one to your loved ones as a backup, and there are few security features in there as well that makes a whole lot of sense to me. But again, this is not me saying I'm down with the Tangem wallet. But again, if you are more knowledgeable in this, please comment and enlighten me more, because I like learning every day. But that's it from me today. These are all the wallets I'm looking at. If I end up buying any of them, I will potentially review them to you on this channel. Please like and subscribe, and thanks for all your support so far. See you on the next one. Peace.